Hello and welcome to the English grammar lesson level advanced. This is a grammar lesson, so I will try to speak only English, but be aware this is an open lesson, so if you don't understand something or word you want to translate, just stop me and I will be happy to go back. Today's topic is except for and besides, but little more information. If you go on our website, teledom.online, you can find all the documents that we will go through on this lesson. If you will like the lesson and you would like to continue, don't forget to log in next Thursday at 11. That's English lesson level advanced. But if you will find this lesson too difficult for you, on Tuesdays we have an English lesson level beginner. Beginner lessons are translated if needed. So I think we can start with the lesson. Today's topic is besides and except for. So what is really besides and except for? They seem to have the same meaning at first, but there is a big difference you should be aware of. We could say that they are almost opposite to each other. We use them to define what we want to include and what we want to exclude in a discussion. So when we are talking about besides, we want to include something, and if we talk about except, we are excluding. So a little bit about the grammar. They're both prepositions. If you don't know what is a preposition, here is a little chart and there is a translation. So we know that for besides and except, they need to be followed by a noun. So what does it mean? Let's study the examples. Did you talk to anyone else besides Joan? We see word besides and is followed by noun. Okay, or we haven't told anyone except her dad. Again, except is followed by a noun. Besides is a preposition, but is an adverb too. Check the translation. What is the adverb? And in this case, it doesn't need to be followed by a noun. I read all the books in the list and few others besides. So that was besides. And except for is a preposition, but is a conjunction too. Check the translation of a conjunction. Okay. And the example is, I would go and see him myself, except I don't know where he lives. We will go through structure again. I want you to just see that you can find besides and except for in the beginning or in the middle or even at the end of the sentence. So let's start with besides. Besides really mean in addition to. Okay, we use besides when we want to add something to the discussion. Okay, so do you play any other sports besides basketball? Besides means plus or with. When we are using besides, we are including something in discussion. Even the prefix of including says it's going in. So really understand that, let's read the example sentence. Besides a cat, I also have a dog and a hamster. So what the sentence is really saying is that I have a total of 3 animals. I am including the cat to the rest of my animals. Or I can say, in addition to the cat, I also have a dog and a hamster. This has the same meaning as the one that is example, but you would hear native speaker to use besides. Okay, let's do a little bit more of a structure. So like we said, besides is followed by noun. Okay, do you speak any other language besides English. What are we saying is, I know you speak English, but I'm including English to the discussion. And I'm asking, in addition to English, what other language do you speak? Besides, in this sentence, is followed by noun, English. Let's look at the second sentence. Mark has lots of hobbies besides playing football. Now I want you to think and really understand what the sentence is saying, and see that after or followed after besides, it's not noun. It's not something that you would call a noun. It's a gerund. And what is a gerund? It's the ing form of a verb. And you really need to understand that when we want to use verb as a noun, we put it in ing form. So look at over here. So verb is to play. Noun is playing. Okay, you have even a translation. So with the other verbs, for example, to write, that's a verb, but writing, it's a noun. So really, in the structure, besides is always followed by noun. Do you have any questions to this? Is it everything is clear? Okay.
Yes, everything is clear.
Good. And this is an important thing to notice and not to confuse. We have an English word besides that we are talking about right now, but we have beside without the S. We don't want to confuse them. Beside is a preposition as well, but it tells us the location of something. It means at the side of or next to. For example, the Tom house stands beside the church, or the sofa is beside the table in my room. So there is difference in meaning, big difference in meaning from beside and besides. Today we are focusing on besides, but don't confuse those two. Beside without S is a preposition of location or place. Besides means in addition to. So let's move on to except or except for. This really means minus or excluding. Excluding is a difficult word, so it's better to understand it as minus, okay? We use except when we want to show exclusion. So when we talk about besides, we talk about inclusion. When we talk about except for or except, we talk about exclusion. Okay, so something is going away. I like everybody in the village except the mayor. So this sentence really says, I like everybody except minus the mayor. So it has a similar meaning to without or minus, like I said. If we are using except or except for, we are doing subtraction, or we subtract something in discussion. Subtract, if you want to translate, you have it here in the box. So let's really study the example sentence. I like all animals except for snakes. So what it really says is, I don't like snakes, but I like all other animals. I'm excluding snakes from the list of animals that I like. Do you understand the meaning of except?
I do. I just don't understand why is there except for snakes. It's obligatory or it's voluntary or how?
We will come to it. Okay, just step by step. Okay, good.
Okay, sorry.
So to the structure, like it's in the besides word, it always followed by a noun. Okay, so all my friends were at the party except for David. Okay, except for is always followed by noun or verb in ing form. But like we talked or said, verb in ing form is really a noun to understand. So all my friends were at the party except for David. David was not at the party. All my friends were there. David is excluded from the list of people present at the party. Except for has a lot of synonyms and similar meaning verbs or prepositions. Except for Luisa, who is away in Berlin, we will be ready for the call. And like in besides, you can use except for in any part of the sentence you want, in the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of the sentence. So, and now let's go to talk about when to use except and except for. In general statements, I want you to understand what a general statement means. It's all that is always followed by generalizing words. What is it? Everybody, all, everyone, whole, nobody. Those are generalizing words, and those are in general statements. We can use both, except or except for. So if you study those examples, they're both correct. I like all animals except for snake. That's correct, because all, that's a general statement, all, everybody. Or I can say, I like all animals except snakes. There is no mistake to use except or except for. But in statements which are not general and they don't come after generalizing words, we only use except for. I like animals except for snake. There is no general statement. This is my personal opinion or my personal statement. So I use except for. If I would say I like animals except snakes, that's a mistake. So now, is it clear when to use except and except for?
Yes, it is clear, and the conclusion is that if I use except for everywhere, I will not make any mistake.
Yes, that's true, but you can always hear to somebody or native speaker to say except without the for preposition, or somewhere read it. So to be clear, it's good to know all those little details. Good.
I can say that it's clear for everybody except for me.
I hope not. I hope that's not true. Good. And the last thing, or the last word I want to talk about today is apart from. So now I want you to think about besides, that means include, and except for, that's exclude. And there comes the third word or third phrase, and that's apart from. And this really can have a meaning on both sides. It can mean in addition to, or it can mean minus. So how does it work? Apart from is a combination of besides and except for. So like I said, it can mean including and excluding as well. So let's look at the first given sentence. Apart from a cat, I also have a dog and a hamster. I can say it. It's correct. This sentence has the same meaning as besides a cat, I also have a dog and a hamster. But be careful or notice that we use also. And also really makes it clear that we are adding something that is already included or is already in the list. And apart from, you can use as well with another meaning, and that's minus or exclusion. Next week, I will be in London every day, apart from a Monday. So what does really the sentence mean is, next week, I will be in London every day except for Monday. It's really important to understand the sentence, understand the context. If you hear apart from, you need to understand the context. unless you won't understand the correct meaning of it. So, like I said, apart from, it's something additional to you, but it's important to know the difference between besides and except for. If you think about it, and you think about translation to Slovak, it comes to us as native Slovak speakers that it's the same, but be careful, it's not the same. Good, so let's do some exercise. You can find the exercise in the chat. Shevka, have you sent it? Is it ready in the chat?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So if you want, you can do it on your own, or you can follow my lead. But this quiz or this exercise will be available even after the lesson, so don't worry. I put a little explanation one more time to really make it clear. And let's start with the first example. So who shall invite these people, these 10 people? So what do you think? What is the best possible option to, or best suitable word for this sentence?
Besides.
Besides, very good. Okay, I don't know why this, just a second. Besides, very good. See the difference between beside and besides? Don't confuse it. Okay, second, there is some bread, the milk. This is a trick one. So what do you think? So we can use apart from or besides as well. I would use apart from. There is some bread at house apart from the milk, or besides the milk. There is milk and there is bread. The meaning is. Good. I love all their songs. The last one. So what do you think? Except for, very good. I like all their songs, excluding or minus the last one. Very good. She speaks several other languages, English and French.
Besides.
Besides, very good. So she speaks several other languages in addition to English and French. Good. She was happy the fact that she couldn't return home.
Apart from?
Apart from, very good. In this case, besides is not suitable for the context. Good. What do cats eat? Milk. This is easy.
Besides.
So I want besides, very good. Very, very good. Let's move on to the next one. Who was sitting? You in class.
Beside.
Very good. This is a preposition of place or location. Who was sitting next to you in class? Really good. Everyone was at Emma's party.
Except for.
Except for.
Very good. Except for. Nothing else matters to him.
Apart from.
Please turn on your mic. Turn off your mic, sorry. So, one more time. Nothing else matters to him.
Apart from.
Why do you think apart? Okay, good. This is a possible answer.
There's no answer for this.
Or also besides. his job.
Very good. Yes, very good. Yes, it means nothing else. Well, nothing else matters to him in addition to his job. Yes, good. She was.
Bende.
Okay, so what do you think? What is the answer to this sentence? I can answer it for you. It's beside. She was beside herself with an anger. What this sentence really means is that she was outraged with anger. So the anger was too big.
So it's a phrase for this, probably.
It's a phrase. It's a good phrase to learn. Exactly.
Thank you.
Good. I've read all her novels. The first one.
Except for the first one.
Except for. Yes. Yes, very good. Except for. Okay, and the last one with multiple choice. So what do you think? Which of these? Paris. I also visited several smaller French towns this summer.
Besides.
Besides, including or in addition to Paris, I also visited other villages. Okay, let's move on to a second part of this exercise. I want you to tell me or write the answer. There's no multiple choice. So what do you think about first sentence? I have no relatives.
Besides an old uncle.
What are we really saying in this sentence?
Except for. That's why except for, because he's the only person whom I have.
Takže čisto teoreticky, ty máš útorky 8:15,
Except for.
Except for, yes, very good. Like I think Mr. Linhart said, exactly. Except for one person, there is no relative. Minus that one person, there are no relatives. I don't know who is talking, but please turn off your mic.
I turn off him.
Thank you very much. Good. So the second sentence. There were 15 people at the meeting.
Besides.
Besides, because we really want to say that there were 15 people and or with the speaker, in addition to speaker. So total number of participants or people at the meeting was 16. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good.
No.
Okay. No. Do you want to go again? No. Okay. Susan came and sat
Beside me.
Very good. Beside as a preposition of location, not addition. Good. I don't mind you being late.
Except for, it's not your fault.
Is it except for or is it besides? What do you think? Tell me why is it except for?
Okay, I do not worry that you are late, but only in case it was not your fault. This is the except for. So if it was your fault, I am angry because we agreed Rande and you missed it.
Good, very, very good. Okay, and let's finish today's lesson with the last sentence. We haven't time to see it. It's very boring. Besides. And I want to add a little note to you. If you want to use besides in your spoken language, if you are talking about your opinion or you are convincing somebody, use besides. You can add more truth. So let's say, Beside the global warming, there are other serious problems. One part of the sentence is true. Besides that true, there is another truth. So this is a good tool for you if you want to express yourself or express your opinions or beliefs or truth. Beside one true, there is another true as well, or beside one opinion, there might be another opinion. So good vocabulary practice besides, I would say. Please, now it's time for your questions. If you want to ask me anything, go ahead. Okay, if not, I want you to thank you very much for your time. You were good students today. If you like today's lesson, don't forget next Thursday at 11 o'clock, we will discuss 2 other words. Both are adverbs, hardly and no sooner. So the next lesson will have similar structure like today's. If you found this lesson too difficult for you and you need the translation, Slovak translation, don't worry, join us on Tuesday at 11 as well. And we will discuss the simple verbs like make, do, and take. All of those materials that we used today, you can find on our website, teledom.online. You go to blog and then you go to language skills, and here you can find all the presentation and the quiz or exercise as well. So one more time, don't forget to visit our website. Wish you a nice day. Goodbye.